Hey guys, Tom the Casual Cutter back again with a video to show you guys a little bit of a tip or a trick when it comes to lubricating your knives that run on washers. Now, I personally love washer knives like this Chris Reeve Sebenza. Just the reliability, the ease of maintenance on a knife that runs on washers. You don't have to worry about it getting dirty or crud getting stuck in there because those washers lay flat against the blade. And washers are kind of like the old the Glock of the knife world. They just run. They may not be as fancy as bearing knives in terms of if you want that fidget factor, but they just plain work. And all three of these knives run on phosphor bronze washers, which is the standard for washers these days in modern folding knives. First, you have the Chris Reeve Umnumzan, the Chris Reeve Sebenza, and this is the Quiet Carry Drift. This actually might be my newest knife on washers, but I love washers. I really do. But this video is about a trick that I found works. And you might know about it, you might not know about it. But if you want to give it a try on your own washer knives, the next time you take them apart for maintenance, I would like to know what your results are, because mine have been pretty good. Now, what is it? Well, so Chris Reeve knives recommends you use fluorinated grease. This grease tube comes with every one of their folders. And they recommend you, lube up the washers with it. Chris Reeve washers actually have little milled pockets. Instead of just being a flat disc, they have little pockets to hold the grease and keep it better lubed over time. So that's what I used to break in the Umnumzan and the Sebenza. Typically on all my other washer knives, when I take them apart and clean them out, I will use some nano oil. And that's worked out pretty well so far. But some time ago, I read something online where somebody actually mixed the two in their CRK and had good results. So I tried it. I tried it on my Umnumzan. And I noticed pretty much immediately that it was noticeably smoother on the close. I could feel that glassiness just get more buttery when I closed the knife. So last week, I decided to take down my Sebenza for the first time and clean that out, lube it up, and the same deal. First, I put some dots of fluorinated grease around the washer, and then a little bit of nano oil, worked it all together, and same thing. The knife feels noticeably smoother on the close. So naturally, I said, you know what, I gotta test this theory. I gotta put it really to the test. And I took my Quiet Carry Drift, which was already cleaned and lubed probably a week or so before. And I just took it apart, and the washers already had lube on them. So what I did is I just took some of the fluorinated grease and I put a couple of dabs on each washer where the washer contacts the blade on that side. And particularly on the close, again, it was really noticeable on this knife. It went from, having some resistance when closing it, not being able to shake it shut, to now just being complete butter. I can shake it shut easily. I can forcefully shake it shut. Before that, I could not. There was just too much resistance between the lock bar and the detent ball rubbing against the blade. And it was just, it just needed extra force to close it, which, again, is not a big deal. I mean, if we're just using knives as tools, who cares that it has to be manually closed? But, we're talking about smoothness here and testing out the theory. Does nano oil and fluorinated grease go together? And based on these three knives, it is like peanut butter and jelly. Kind of think of the grease as the peanut butter. It's smooth and it's slippery. But when you mix peanut butter and jelly together, you get a whole different type of sliding action. At least I think so. I might be nuts, but the purpose of this video is to not only bring that to your attention, but also we're going to try to do it again and see if it still holds true. This is the Zero Tolerance Knives ZT0630. It is one of my favorite frame lock designs of all time. I have 3 of them, and I just love this knife. I think it's kind of, you know, very similar to the Sebenza, where it's a simple design, full pass through, you know, 2 slabs, kind of just elegantly simple. And this thing is a workhorse. This was my first 0630. It added a micarta scale, green micarta scale. There is a hollow regrind that I had done to the blade. Anodized the lock side bronze just to kind of better jive with the look of this build, and I put a low profile ZT pocket clip on there. Also a bigger thumb disc, which helps with opening. I've never been a big thumb disc guy, but that's not what this video is about. So let's see how this closes. Takes a little shake. Again, because I just think the lock bar tension with that detent ball as it rides against the blade, there's some resistance, but you can close it one-handed. It's not like you can't. It's got a big and thick and heavy enough blade to where you can do that if you want to, or you can just kind of slow shake it. But let's take this guy apart and see if the old peanut butter and jelly will do some wonders on the 0630. So this guy uses, I believe, T10 frame screws, and this hex pivot, which I think is a 3/8. I don't have a socket. I have a 10mm, which just about works. So we'll use that to take this apart. Once you break a few threads, you can manually turn this with your fingers. So that works. Take that apart. I am using my Weeha bit set, which you can find on Amazon. Awesome set. Let's try a T10. See if that works. Yes, it's a T10. Beep, bop, boop. If you watched one of my last videos where I disassembled the CKF Capitalist, I explained where I got this mat from. I use it, got that on Amazon as well. If you haven't seen the 2 videos I did on this knife, go back and give them a look. I did an overview video and then a disassembly and maintenance video on this. This thing is absurd. But back to the task at hand. My dog is in the background cleaning his nether regions. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's pretty amazing sound. All right. So the 0630, there you can see the washers. Phosphor bronze. This thing has some stop pins going on, some standoffs. There's a little bit more to it than the Sebenza now that I think about it. But it's still not that bad. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a rag and I'm going to wipe these off. Sorry if I'm off camera. Just going to dry these washers off because there's nothing but a little nano oil on them. Same thing with the blade. Gonna wipe these down both sides. Now what we're gonna do is pop the washers back on. This one here. And we're gonna take some fluorinated grease and I'm gonna pop just a little bit on there. Kind of spread it around just so that there's a thin layer All right. Then the old nano oil. And I'm just going to put a couple of drops because that's going to spread on its own. There we go. Back to the blade. Slide that down. Where the hell did all these stop pins come from? That one goes there. And then on this side, what we'll do is we will put the fluorinated grease directly on where the washer contacts the blade. Okay, a little bit there, and then some nano oil as well. All right, that's it. And while we're here, we'll put a dab of nano oil on that detent ball. And we'll take the washer, slide it right back on. Beautiful. Let's line this liner back up. See if this goes off without a hitch. Okay. Looks like that's lined up. Pop the scale back on. Throw these screws back in. Hand tighten this right there. Where's my driver? Now you guys, I don't know what you use for your washer knives, but let me know in the comments if you're currently using KPL or nano oil or grease or frog lube or whatever it might be. I'd like to know what you guys are currently using because I myself do enjoy experimenting with different things and always learning to find out what works best. So let's tighten this guy up. Now this will help if I was turning it the right way, right? This was just about snug before. Now it is definitely in need of being tightened up. Okay. Centering is good. Let's make sure that these are snug down on the frame. They are. Let's see. Let's work that in. Get that oil and that grease moving together. Yep. It's smoother. Now again, this could just be because, well, you took the knife apart and you relubed it, but on the Quiet Carry Drift, the knife was already clean and lubed, and I just added the fluorinated grease, and it made it considerably smoother. So, yeah, that is noticeable on the close. Let's check for blade play. No blade play whatsoever. Okay, so my consensus, guys, is this. Try using fluorinated grease and combining it with whether it be nano oil or KPL or frog lube or whatever you use. Try doing what I just did, mixing a little bit together and seeing if it makes a difference in your knives that are on washers. Yeah. I'm sold, guys. Try it out. Let me know. Come back, look in the comments, leave me a message, whatever you got to do. I want to know if this worked for you. It has definitely worked for me, and I will keep doing it on all my knives that run on washers from now on. So yeah, over the next couple weeks, I'll probably go through my knife collection and do this to my other knives that are on washers. As always, if you're still here, if you enjoyed the content of this video, please go ahead and tap that like button. Helps me out. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, any feedback, you know, talk smack if you want to, whatever you want to do. But I appreciate you watching if you're still here, and I will see you guys on the next video. Have a great day.